CEOs in India are confident that the global economy will recover over the next 3 years. However, they are less certain about the growth of their own companies, according to a study titled the KPMG CEO Outlook 2024. The study found that the level of confidence of CEOs in their own companies' growth prospects has declined to 68% from 71% in 23. The report also highlights that reputation risks stemming from misalignment with customer and public sentiment is one of the top 3 threats facing these leaders in India. The other 2 threats include technology becoming obsolete and cybersecurity. Meanwhile, over 70% of the surveyed CEOs believe that cost of living, trade regulations, cyber security and talent shortages will adversely affect their organization's prosperity over the next 3 years. Joining us right now to speak about this is KPMG India CEO Yazdi Nagpurwala. Yazdi, let me begin by asking you about the confidence of CEOs right now in terms of investing in India, investing in more capacity. Does the current growth outlook give them enough confidence to do so?
So thank you, Parikshit, at the outset. Thank you for having me. I must say this is actually our 10th year of the CEO survey. It's a global survey. It covers about 1,300 CEOs across the world, across 11 markets, of which 125 are from India. So to answer your question, yes, in India, the next 3 years, about 80% of the CEOs have commented that they are optimistic of the global economy. Of course, this is a big drop as compared to when we started off in 2015. And coming specifically into India, there is a positive sentiment of investments in India.
Right. Now, when it comes to growth prospects of their own companies, what is the biggest worry that CEOs have in comparison to last year?
As compared to last year, I would say aspects of operational issues come across as a key concern. And this, along with aspects of cybersecurity, the element of geopolitics is consistent, but aspects of technology, they have taken a higher pedestal in the current year. And this is all around AI, as you would expect. Another key operational priority is the entire employee value proposition on how to attract and retain talent. So those are the aspects which are coming through in the current year.
Right. Now, when it comes to business confidence, do you think there has been an increase there compared to your surveys over the last few years?
In India, yes. Specifically for India, Indian CEOs, I find them very resilient. And I also find them looking at the medium term, as you would expect. And as a result, the sentiment is also similar, and the buoyancy really hasn't eroded.
Right. Now, when it comes to making greater investments, how many CEOs in India, among those you surveyed, what percentage of them do you expect to actually deploy additional investments this year compared to global numbers?
Compared to global numbers, I'd expect a substantial portion to be higher on the investment side, specifically in India. But that's again Indian sentiment, if you like. It's also driven by the Indian outlook and the way Indians deal with situations.
Right. Now, what does this say about the confidence in the India growth story and the global growth story?
My own view is the India growth story is it continues. You may have a little bit of a blip here and there. That's also driven. I mean, earlier we had this entire election phase, but otherwise it's a consistent story. It reflects India in a different light altogether on the global pedestal. As compared to the global growth story, the aspects of geopolitics, I think, impact the global CEOs much more than they impact the Indians.
When it comes to mergers and acquisitions, How actively are companies in India looking at M&As? How many CEOs say that they are actively in the process of having mergers and acquisitions compared to global numbers? And any key sectors where you expect the highest amount of M&A activity?
So I don't have the exact percentage on the M&A piece, but again, a fairly high degree of CEOs, a high number of CEOs are looking at M&A. And when I say M&A, it's also connected to an overall strategy and reputation. So for example, when we talk about ESG, a fair number of CEOs are also looking at letting go businesses which damage reputation. So you have a mix of that coming in. In terms of sectors, India will always remain attractive in the infra space. Of course, there are other aspects of healthcare and all which also are getting buoyant now.
Right. When you speak about ESG, what are the biggest priorities for CEOs in India right now? Majority of those who were surveyed by you, what do they say in terms of ESG priorities, reputational risks that they want to avoid?
So ESG continues to stay significant. It continues to stay as an integral part of strategy as far as CEOs are concerned. We noticed about 21% of the CEOs recognized that if they don't focus on this aspect, they would give competition an advantage. And almost 66% of the CEOs were ready to divest part of any impacting business or any impacting vertical, which was impacting their reputation as such. The strategies across CEOs and companies haven't changed in the last year as far as climate change is concerned. Although there is now a maturity of how CEOs and companies are adopting contemporary language like terminologies and things like that in the ESG space.
Right. I would like to ask you about generative AI. According to the KPMG CEO survey, which is done annually, which is the biggest challenge that CEOs feel is there when it comes to implementing generative AI?
So the first challenge is that Gen AI is gaining a reputation that this will replace humans and jobs will be lost. In reality, AI has to be paired with human expertise. In reality, while AI will free up time, it will upskill the current workforce, which will work along with the knowledge of AI. And in fact, KPMG India is using AI to augment our people to solve key business challenges in the area of technology, compliance, etc. So overall, one expects productivity, one expects efficiency to move up with the maturity of AI.
Right. In terms of skill development and job creation, we're doing this interview at a time when the government is launching the PM internship scheme to skill youth in the age of 21 to 24. How many companies and how many CEOs that KPMG surveyed believe their organizations are going to hire more this year and create more jobs?
So while there was no reference to the government scheme, overall, there is a sentiment that CEOs will hire year on year as we go along. And that's also a reflection of the buoyancy or the sentiment that corporate India has. So we have embraced the government policies. We'll see how those pan out. But there are lots of initiatives around talent, and especially technology and talent coming together.
All right, that's all we have time for. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.